I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet your ass cool. Welcome back to the Lost Minds podcast. This time there's 4 of us. We're joined by our buddy Snow, and things get a little crazy. We talk over each other a little bit of madness, but what can you expect? We're just on vacation and hang out and say what's up while we're out in good old Salem, Oregon. Hope you guys enjoy the madness. There was a little bit of mead involved and a little bit of weed involved, so it gets a little bit silly. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoy our little rant while we're here in Witches Country. Thanks again.
Landed today is when Snowman thought that you could have a baby from your ass.
That was fucking funny.
I forgot about that.
When Snowman's like, he's like, what the hell did you say?
We saw that girl coming
Well, that's how it
across the
started.
street.
It just started
Snowman's
like
like,
that.
he's like, that's not my
We were
type of
talking about
girl.
what
He's
kind
like,
of
but
women we
I'd
wanted,
date
yeah.
her. I'd make her my wife, and I'd make a baby in her butt.
I did it.
Oh, wait, I mean,
I'd
Some
make
along that line.
I'd make I'd impregnate her, and then I said "but" as in like "but" to move to a next subject. But Brian cut me off, and he said,
he's
No
like,
buts.
You gotta
You
catch
can't-
those.
it
Those
doesn't
are
work
once in a
that way.
lifetime. I should have caught Admir on this episode we have in the past. I think it was like episode 17 or
killed it.
something.
He said something good. Back to that.
Yeah.
what? You've never caught me on anything.
I know. I
except for
I
fapping.
should have after I listened to the whole
I was
thing.
like, guys, when did they give us 2 keys to the
in front
room?
of me.
2 keys. I'm like
Oh,
sliding off.
you don't get them pregnant in their butt. No, that's what he said. I think something like that.
You never know.
It
It was
could
something
happen.
witty. It was good. You delivered it well.
Dude, you know what's really scaring me nowadays?
What?
Traps.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. No,
Oh
dude.
no.
Or nowadays, a trap dude is like, what do they call a trap? When they're
It's a
coming
dude
from
who-
the trap. No, they say
Yeah.
you're coming out the trap, like the ghetto.
Ghetto. The hard part.
What the fuck? You know,
Yeah, dude,
everything's
new
ghetto.
slang, dude. I know
Whoa,
how
whoa, whoa.
everyone's had a hard life, and everyone.
No, dude, like, people are
Just
starting to
ask
look,
them,
they're
I
starting to
think
merge.
hard
Trap
matter
queen.
perspective. I mean, someone that's.
Are we
been,
recording
you know,
this?
Yeah.
in the
I've said a
Bronx.
lot of controversial things.
Good.
Yeah, you have
And
that
I'd like
thing
to
about
just put
the
a
pregnant
disclaimer
butts.
out there. Everything I say is how I mean it. So get fucking used to it.
Oh, hard. He's a big guy today, guys.
Yeah.
Put on his big
A bald eagle flying by.
Hey, America! Welcome to the Lost Minds podcast. This is the official trailer.
America.
Fuck yeah! We're gonna need eagles in here. Get him out the cage, yeah!
No, we're just here. We stopped in Las Vegas. We're at the 32nd floor.
Whoa.
Too soon or
Way
what?
too
Fuck,
soon,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Way too soon.
Dude, I mean, you might as well have fun.
You did you not hear him?
No, what the hell did you say?
God, you didn't
Oh,
even have
damn.
headphones on, bro.
No, only half.
I was just saying, we're
What are
just
we gonna
getting
do?
motel
What are we gonna do about this guy?
parking lot crunk, dude.
Yep.
It's like a
Where we are, we're
yeah.
in Salem.
motel.
What are we
or something.
drinking? Screwdriver, Smirnoff Ice, represent. Tastes like an orange
Brought
energy
to you
drink.
by-
It's delicious.
Is it really like a screwdriver, like a orange juice and?
It's orange juice and vodka normally is how you make a screwdriver. This is a Smirnoff version of it, and it just tastes delicious.
Is Smirnoff?
It tastes like an
Smirnoff
orange
is vodka.
soda.
Well, Smirnoff makes vodka, yeah, but it's
Yo-
like a Smirnoff Ice spiked.
Oh, so it's
Screwdriver
their like
beverage, yeah.
hard.
It's like a soda.
Flavor.
It's like an orange soda
That's pretty
with
cool.
liquor.
Yeah, it's
You
not
can only
bad.
taste
Hey,
the orange soda.
where can I buy like a big ass bottle, like an obnoxious bottle of like Crown or something?
Crown Royal,
Yeah.
the liquor store
Yeah.
in Utah.
Or
Why?
basically anywhere here.
Here,
Well, it wouldn't it be cheaper here?
Probably.
dude, make your own.
I'm thinking like, what do we get? Could we get in trouble taking a bag?
I don't know.
If they can
Let's
catch
be
me.
honest.
Allegedly, you
Yeah.
may.
If we allegedly take a bottle back,
I mean,
what do we
technically-
do?
Dude, it's oh my goodness.
Oh, but that with the Wendover's making that brand new. They made that brand new liquor store that's huge. It's got a giant warehouse, and someone was telling me they're going to do restrictions on people that have out of state like Utah licenses
You realize.
because, hey, mic control.
You got to talk into your mic,
I'm trying
dude.
to not talk to the mic.
Why? Dude? He's scared of the mic.
You know what else? I was going back in your car with you. Just saying. Like,
No, dude, I'm talking about alcohol. That's the only thing I'm thinking about bringing back because I want to buy it as a gift.
for who?
Oh, that's
for
From
who?
my freaking dad.
Oh, that's a good person to buy it for. Your dad's pretty cool. He's always been a good guy.
Well, with anything, it's not illegal to carry. I mean,
You wanna
it's
know-
not illegal.
What if I walked across the border?
No, it's not illegal to if it's not.
I don't
open.
think it's illegal to own it. It's illegal
it's not-
to buy it there.
Why
right?
the fuck? The real question here is why the fuck would you walk across?
Yeah.
Because if I'm in a vehicle, then I could get pulled over. But if I'm walking, you can't pull me over.
What are you gonna put your
That's
car
stupid.
in neutral
Well, he
and
sees you
push
when you're
it,
holding
and
the
then
brand.
like
No, you
walk
guys would
next to
drive.
it?
You guys would drive, and then I would walk.
Cop sees you
That's a
walking
far
down the
fucking
highway. Okay,
walk.
you've got a brown bag in your hands. He's stopping.
It's gonna be a backpack.
Oh,
Wanna have it
he's
in a
still going to
backpack?
stop probably and make sure you're not dying of thirst or something.
I'll be like, I'm officer. I'm good. Just keep going.
He's probably going to arrest you just because you.
I'm like, you can't arrest me. It's fucking America. I'm American-ish, and I need you to
Ish.
fucking keep walking, boy.
Boy, did you say ish?
And
What's
I'll be like, officer, there hasn't been a man alive that's looked at me and lived. And he's gonna be like, excuse me. I'm like, I just heard that somewhere. I thought it'd be cool to say.
He's like,
Boy,
that's
you
what I
coming
fucking
with
thought
me.
you said.
And I'd be like, but seriously, don't look at me or else you ain't gonna
And he'll
live.
turn around, bitch. I have a gun.
And I'm like, I have a fucking pencil, and I've killed men with
Oh,
pencils.
I'll make
wow,
this
you-
pencil
you
disappear.
killed
I'm pretty
him.
sure he's
Well,
gonna
he's the
look at
Joker.
you.
It's
He's
like-
gonna look at you and just be like, "Do you have water on you?"
Water.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have water.
Carry a lot of water weight on you, I can tell.
Oh.
He's like, I can wrestle. Next thing you know, you're wrestling, you got your shirts off, and then you guys are hanging
And we're
out
in the
more.
bushes, just
Yeah,
rolling
it's-
around. Somehow the bottle of alcohol opens up.
Yeah, you're like, got the bottle.
Rick snuck that one in. I hope everybody heard it.
Or like you could be like this fucking motel and go to the pool and it's just a cement
Slab
fucking
of
patio
concrete.
or something. A
It's just
parking lot.
concrete.
It's-
There's
Might
a
take
truck
a-
driver's like,
there's an area that's fenced off with nothing in it.
It says they're supposed to
So
be a
they
pool,
cage
but
the
there's
kids,
just
I
a
guess, when
fucking
they leave.
concrete
They
wall.
have pool equipment on top of the shed. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh man.
Maybe
Just in
there's
case
a
you
pool
get-
back there and you couldn't.
No,
see
when the guy was pouring the concrete, he dozed off and just filled the whole thing instead of just the
it. Is
walls.
that what they told you?
And he's
It
like,
was-
"Fuck it,
It was something else.
keep the extra concrete, you greedy sons of bitches."
This chain had barely just bought this chain, so it was a different chain before.
And they just filled it with concrete as spite to get.
That was
back
how
at
we
him.
got this deal or whatever when we get the thing, and it was the weekend deal, and supposedly it was sold out, and then get the deal thing, and then it said it's from a major chain, and you get it, and you're like, this is not a major chain, but it is kind of because they're everywhere.
Wyndham actually has this as like a thing on their thing. So like,
Yeah, don't drop
you want to
shit.
stay in a hotel, you can stay in a Night's Inn and you can get points for your Wyndham.
Try not to talk shit on them.
Look, dude. Let me.
The people have been nice.
Yeah, because they don't talk to us.
It's pretty relaxed as a motel. You know, people mind their own business. That's what you really want when you come to a motel. Is just be left alone.
I don't know, dude. The other night, let me tell you what. I was trying to sleep about
Okay, that's-
4 o'clock in the
It's
morning,
not the people who own the places.
and I'm like, man, it's really hot in here because someone left a freaking heater on. So I'm like, I'm gonna crack the window. As soon as I crack the window, I hear screams coming from like fucking down the way, like ah, ah.
Yeah, he's like, someone's getting murdered.
I'm like, I thought someone was getting murdered, and then they started being
someone
all
was sticking
irregular.
it to him. That's
Then they started getting all irregular. Ah, 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 ooh, ah.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, all right, someone's definitely getting stabbed somewhere.
She was getting stabbed.
It was a she and a
What it
he
sounds
for
like.
sure. It was not two dudes. I don't want anyone to get misconception. Some guy was getting stabbed. But then I was like,
definitely not two dudes, and it wasn't. I was not one of those dudes, so we have to rule that out. It was just noises outside because I was dead asleep, dude.
it wasn't like screaming like I'm getting raped screaming. It was like I'm enjoying this screaming, and it sounded like it was coming from the next room over.
Dude, probably because these walls too. I wonder.
Yeah, they could probably hear us talking about it
I was
right
about
now.
to say
I know,
there.
huh? I'm just glad that we're not on the bottom floor because someone could just like drive their car.
Kill us.
Like,
They could probably still do it right now
Yeah,
if
that's
they had
probably
a
why it says out there, "Don't back up, please," on the sign. They don't want people backing into the building.
jump out,
Yeah.
boom, bust the door open, be like, fucking pull you out of your beds, boom, throw you in the fucking cars.
Whoa, shit! That's what you're thinking about?
Damn, dude.
Have you
Holy
seen
fuck.
fucking No Country for Old Men? He fucking
That's exactly
goes
what I was
into a
thinking.
room with like and kills everybody with a fucking shotgun and like a little cow
What was
air
his-
compressor.
What was his purpose for killing them, though? Like, he had a reason.
He thought it was the other guy that had
Oh.
that was in part of the standoff that had the
So you killed a
suitcase.
bunch of innocent people?
He thought that he got that room, but the other guy got the room adjacent from it, and so he had,
Yeah,
like,
he kept
his own
looking
room.
out.
So he killed innocent people?
No, they were people that were also trying to get him too as well.
Right. Well, we're innocent, so I think mostly. And
Not in the second time though, huh? When they're in the other motel, he gets shot at when he actually, spoiler alert, dies, and everyone else. Not the No Country.
I feel like if you're going to give a spoiler alert, you got to give more time for them to leave.
If they
after
haven't seen
you
the movie
say
by
that
now, though,
before you
dude.
give. It doesn't matter. You never.
Our
know.
listeners know to have their finger on the pause
People
button.
sometimes-
Yeah.
people
And
sometimes-
also
hey,
the X button when it just gets like
people
real
sometimes
shitty.
don't know.
Yep.
You know, like
Heard that.
if
Wish it didn't.
maybe they're going to see it. There's lots of
But
movies.
I
How many
did.
times you was like, "Oh, I've never seen that movie before." People are like, "Well, you've never seen that movie," and then you watch it. It's an amazing movie, but you don't know why you never saw it.
Yeah, that happens a
That movie
lot.
would've
I
been
can tell you
real
why they
if
never
somebody
saw it, 'cause they're a
fucking
bunch of
told
greedy
you,
ass
and then they said,
motherfuckers.
"Spoiler alert, he dies." Oh, well, hey, thanks for giving me time to not listen to your stupid spoiler, you bitch.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, if you didn't hear it by now, fucking
You know what? Fuck
sorry,
it, dude.
It's
motherfuckers.
been out for a while.
How long does it take
'Cause
somebody
it's
to go,
good.
hey, Bigsby, pause? That long.
Bigsby.
Who the fuck is Big?
Or whatever. I think it's a new thing on Samsung 8.
Bigsby.
Really?
Yeah. Hey,
They
Bigsby.
give it a name?
Yeah.
And it'll do stuff?
AI, yeah. You could be
Oh,
like,
it's a
hey,
guy's
Bigsby.
voice? They're trying to do dudes' voices now?
Chick, I
Whoa.
think.
Oh, okay.
If you have a Samsung 8, you could be like, hey, Bigsby, send Brian a text message. Say, dude, when are we going?
What happens if you
send-
fuck up and you say Brandon a text message, Brian's your boss and Brian's your friend, and you send him like,
It'll ask. It'll be like, Brian this and Brian that. And you'll
but
be
how
like,
easy
Brian
to-
that.
yeah, how easy is it to fuck up though? Like you just put them both in there as Brian. What's it say? Is it Brian or Brian? Oh well, it's Brian.
I think it will. Does it? Well, if you did,
It highlights both of
would it
them,
make
it
it
sends
like
to
how
both.
it is when you
Well,
do an
then what's
extra
the point of
file?
having a
one,
voice command,
you know,
because
it
that
is
means that you have the
dependency,
voice command and
Brian
then look
too.
at the phone. Voice commands is meant to be hand off. You're supposed to say.
Maybe
it's
you
supposed to
know
happen.
which Brian it is. So maybe you know it's Brian 2. So you're like, send
Yes, yeah.
Brian
So I guess that
2.
leaves it up to you. But like, that's, I
Message.
don't know, man. The software.
Yeah.
I think it could be smart enough. I think they have that. You know.
It will. One day, your freaking your cell phone will send you a text message, and you'll be like, "What the fuck?" Your cell phone will be like, "Was it not funny? It was pretty funny."
I don't know. You see that Saudi Arabia robot? Like I've seen it before. Like they did
Was it one of
test
the
it,
box
yeah, I
carrying
was like
ones
the one
that
talking
falls
about that.
Back
over?
in the day, they did a video of it where it accidentally admitted it wanted to like kill all people and stuff.
Oh, that
That's a
fembot
lie.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
So they released it now, and it's like doing really well, and it's now
You
Saudi
want-
Arabia's first mechanical citizen.
Yeah.
You know what's even creepier is a U.S. company made 2 AI bots, and they didn't connect
destroyed
them.
them.
No, they didn't connect them to the internet. But what they did do is they connected one of them to the internet, but they told it not to connect to the code on the online. And then when the people weren't around, the computer was attempting to connect to the internet on its own. Even though it was connected to a fake internet, it kept trying to connect to the internet. Even though it was like programmed not to do that. When the
know
people
it's-
weren't around, it was trying to
they say
connect to
that.
the internet, and they shut it off, and they haven't
What?
turned it on since. Yeah, it's facts, dude.
It was probably a problem with
It'll
their
probably
coding,
turn
though.
itself on.
I
That
don't
happens
know.
with every AI, though.
But how does that- how does
remember
that-
the Google ones? They were talking. They started making their own language.
Okay, well,
basically.
Google
know
did
all
have
about-
dude, Google does have its own language.
Well, it started making its own
It's called
language.
Google
They shut 'em
Lingo,
down.
Google Lingo, or something like that. Google
Was it the
Lingo.
Facebook
Google
ones?
Lingo.
No, that was the Facebook. Was it two Facebook AI? They started creating a language between each other where they
Yeah,
were
it was
communicating to
Facebook
each
that
other,
had that problem.
and they were like, "Oh shit, the two AIs communicating to each other."
On that note,
and the way they
eBay's got
couldn't,
a
shut
they
them
couldn't,
off.
they couldn't understand it.
eBay's pretty good place. I
For
don't know, I
what
was
are
gonna
they?
say I lost my whole thought.
For
but-
AI or
No, just too much smoking.
well, if you think about,
I think they had a.
well, look at Amazon though.
pretty sure
The
eBay
Amazon's
has a
going
bot.
with the AI. Look at
pretty
them.
sure
They're
EA
going with
has a
flying
bot,
AIs. You're
or
flying
eBay.
drones.
I don't know.
You know what I am
Amazon
looking forward
Flex
to,
is
though,
now
is
coming to
like
Salt Lake.
is drone workers. Because imagine if everything was robot working, we don't have to fucking do anything. We just live life, dude. You
That's
get in a
what I was
Tesla.
like.
No,
fucking
every
drive
job
to the
would have
moon.
to have a robot.
who it was.
Every job.
Yeah,
would.
every job.
most
McDonald's
jobs
would be a
could be
vending
done by
machine.
robots, I feel.
Burger King would be a vending machine. Stores, they actually have stores in Japan that are vending machines.
Yeah, isn't Japan like make up 58%
Please
of
don't
all
say
vending
Jap.
Isn't
machines?
it weird how everybody's going the bot route?
Whoa. That-
I'm just joking.
everyone- yeah, because that's the way to go, dude.
It's like
Everyone's-
everybody's doing. I think Walmart's even doing it now, dude.
Yep.
Dude,
Walmart has
with that pickup, dude.
Did you see the robots
Hey,
that
that
come into
pickup,
Walmart?
that Walmart
No.
pickup is a pretty good idea.
Fuck
There's some
yeah.
people that really hate shopping. They know just what they want. Why's the point of going there when you can do that?
How they're like probably like, how
And
can we
plus
get
it's a good-
people
it's
from
a smart
stop
way-
stealing our shit, dude?
Well, plus you have to start.
Guard
they're gonna be
robots with
competing-
machine guns.
They're competing with other
shit.
companies that already do that. They offer delivery services for stuff like that. So they're putting themselves in that market. Not only that, but they're going to be stopping when people start doing the order off the internet. People order offline because they want it delivered. Well,
It's gonna be a drive-through, huh?
so they got that. Plus now you got the whatever people have talked about, the Amazon drone delivery. Like if
Yeah,
you're gonna, you got to come up with some. intuitive shit, like some brand new ingenuity needs to come out because that's gonna win. That's always gonna win.
Yeah,
Definitely.
There's warehouses that use just robots just to pull and pick stuff. I was working at a place where they pulled out a whole section that was a parts room, and it became one giant like ass vending machine. And basically, you just typed in the thing, and it would just be like come down, and then you just pull the parts off that
Like
conveyor.
automation technology.
Yeah, it was just like a giant, huge conveyor belt. You didn't need a fucking parts person. They had one person that was there, but you could walk up to the computer and be like, "But I need a socket," and the fucking thing would be like a giant vending machine. Come out, whole thing of sockets. You just pull the one you need. And the people that actually did do that in that warehouse when we came, because we were technically a scab company, because we were just doing work for a union company. All those people in that department had lost their jobs to that robot. I was like,
Damn.
Well, that happens, right? That happens always.
And that's the fear. That's the kind of the fear of AI too, with a lot of that stuff. You know, that's why we have that.
Well, think about it. Why,
Starbucks,
but listen,
you know?
listen. Why be afraid? Why be afraid of that? I understand, like, the idea, right? You're saying, like, okay, that they're going to take our jobs.
'Cause
So if they take our jobs, well, think about it. Really, it's going to be about how many robots. We're just going to dictate how much money we make by how many robots you own. Like, we're still going to consider them probably, property when it comes to just bots. Like, not maybe AIs. That's different because there's a whole ethics debate you could have on if an
Between
AI
bots and
deserves to
AI.
be respected or not, right?
yeah,
I get it. It's made out of parts, but we're made out of parts too. And technically, the
Our parts
universe
just
provided
squishy
us with those parts,
and
and
not
the universe
bulletproof.
provided us with those parts. So technically, what's the difference? I mean, if it feels, I don't know.
it's true though. It
Either
is.
way,
It's a different.
the point is, like, we're going to create robots. It's going to come down to the robots are going to maybe they'll take all the jobs. What it's going to be is it's going to be how many robots you own. You own these robots, you get paid for what they produce, right? It's like a production value. Say, okay, well, you've got this
But
many
who's
robots.
paying
to
you?
have
Yeah,
this
who's getting these
production. It's going to be
robots,
the people who own the companies that you're going to basically buy bots as property, and they're going to make revenue, kind of like how you make a computer to farm Bitcoin.
I got an
What
idea.
prevents the
Hey,
company
hey,
from
hey,
buying
hey!
that
Everybody,
person,
listen
though?
to me real quick.
All right, we're listening. now.
Everybody out there, for real. Let's all make our own bots, or
Autobots.
if there's a community that starts selling bots, I want you guys to buy one and take it to a job and be like, this guy right here, he'll bring home the money.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Just
Oh,
actually
that'd be crazy.
sell them as your employee.
The
yeah.
community create.
Then
that
you're
environment.
making money from your bot.
already. Yeah.
You
What,
know, you're making a living
what makes your bot
from your bot.
liable
Well, then you-
if
then
it
you
runs
get to-
over another employee?
if you
or
do
kills
that,
Drop it
though.
off. I don't know.
You just got to
Make it
figure
like
the
your own
niche,
kid.
though.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
if it
you
was a
realize-
Starbucks robot, it would just make the coffee. It doesn't. I mean, a vending machine could do it. You know, if say it was just a little thing.
They already have Starbucks vending machines, and they're fucking delicious.
See, dude.
Well, look, if you do that, you realize like legalities now to come into play. They're going to like say, okay, when's it legal for someone to do this or not? Like government's going to get involved because
Well, it's
now
that-
you've
I mean, if they're
created-
gonna
they want
replace us
that.
with
They
bots
want that human
anyways,
interaction.
right?
Though people want human interaction. You know.
Well,
And there's
you
no
can still
base
have customer
income, so how
service,
could
that's
we,
fine.
like,
Yeah,
survive?
call centers if you want and stuff. People can do that to make extra money, but I think a lot of people, just with the way the world's going, would rather have their money just generated. Right? If you hear about those dream jobs where people say, "Okay, well, I invest in the stock market and I sit there for 5 hours a day. I make 5, moves. 3 of those moves are beneficial, 2 aren't. I made this much freaking money. It's insane." And all they did was sit there and look at numbers. So why you don't have to take away stuff like that? That can still exist, but now you're talking about an auxiliary form of income, of revenue that you didn't have before. You could just buy a bot, sit at home and play your video game, or watch your TV show, or
Fap.
binge on Netflix, or whatever. You'll fap
Fap
whatever you
all
want to
day.
do.
I'd make a fapping robot.
People would
that
rather just be that,
fap
or
me.
even let's not take that. Like
If
maybe
I fell
take it in a
asleep,
grander
that'd
scheme.
get
People
dangerous.
would be out like, okay, how much vacation time does that get you? If you've got a bot work for you, it gives you all the vacation time you need. As long as you have enough bots generating enough revenue, you could just
Do that.
fly around the world, see all the cool
But I
shit.
feel
'Cause we
what
don't
would
live
stop the
forever,
company
you
from
know.
buying the bot, you know.
What if we do live forever?
Yeah, that could
Well, I
be
mean,
a
that's a whole
possibility.
other. That's a whole other. Debate.
You ever watch the movie Chappie?
No, I haven't.
You should watch the movie Chappie.
Yeah, you
I
recommended
watched
that to
it.
me before.
Tried to, but I'd like to watch it.
Baby.
I watched Johnny.
I was going to tell you.
Did you have a
What about Chappie?
soundtrack every time you're about to speak?
Yeah. Sorry, dude. That song's stuck in my head. But what I was going to say is that Walmart robots, did you hear they're going to come to Salt Lake? They're going to have aisle robots, and what they do is the robot goes down the aisle and it scans
I
the
wonder
entire
what kind
aisle.
of vehicle these robots drive.
They're on 4 wheels.
Sorry,
driverless,
continue.
probably.
Ducati,
But
probably.
Basically, it's a camera robot, and it drives down the aisle, taking pictures of the entire aisle, and it keeps doing that, and it takes inventory of the aisles, and it tells the workers like, "Hey, this bread is missing," or "There's an error here, 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 here." So the employees, instead of walking down the aisle like searching for all the problems and like the things that need to be restocked, the robot does it. And it tells them, pulls up an inventory, hey, we need to order more Pringles. Boom. It'll put in an order for more Pringles.
Oh my god!
Hey,
How long until they make another robot that can just pull
Well, if
that?
they do
Like
that,
that.
they'd also have to know
that
their
fills it.
inventory.
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna have a robot that's gonna take that person's spot so quick. That's gonna be like, number 14A21B is missing. Robot.
Yeah, it might take their jobs, but the people
Next
are
one's
smart enough
scanning.
that somebody will invent a way for our economy to still generate like.
That's where that base income
livable
comes from.
wage.
That idea of having a livable wage. You know.
So the whole point is they'll figure it out. These people are smart enough. Like back in the day,
The way
we
to
thought
do it
music
is
was
you
going to
just gotta
disappear
make
because of downloads.
not
What they
only-
do, they created radio stations like Pandora and Spotify, and they kept music alive.
Not only will the bots work, they'll also be our slaves.
Yeah.
That's what
Why
it's going to
have
happen.
robots restocking
Like
the grocery
on
store?
Wall-E, right? They're
Yeah.
all chilling and stuff. Who's doing all the work?
They're
Who's
not
flying the
slaves
ship?
if they're just robots with no emotions or.
What constitutes
Wall-E
a
is-
slave?
He's got emotion.
No emotions or
I
thoughts.
think to be a slave, you've got
emotions
to,
or
well, I guess
thoughts.
technically maybe the word slave
To
could
be held
slave even
against
applies to
your
the master
will,
and, like,
dude.
technology, but the point is,
Yeah.
It's like, no.
I feel like slaves is a bad word to use when
fucking
you're
slave.
talking about something that absolutely
Yeah.
has no thought process.
Dude, a slave though. I mean, being held against your will and being like fucking stuck there. No
That's
one
true.
wants that shit, dude.
But if you're
It was
created
like being
for it,
fucking
like
stuck
that
there.
salt, pepper,
Well,
pastor,
some depending,
robot.
I guess Rome, right? They like their slaves masters became like fathers to them and things like that, and so like oftentimes a lot of them would, if like they would die, they would like kill themselves or like try and go and like avenge them and things.
No, the slave would either kill himself or run away, because if another Roman came by and he found the master dead, and the slave didn't kill himself with the master, the Roman would kill him. I'm serious, they'd cut him down.
Dude, I would just keep that slave.
I'd be like, you're worth 10 shillings. Throw it on the dead master.
Well, it's
Kill
crazy.
slave.
Think about it. If stuff like that made sense to them, that just kind of goes to tell you, like, you can probably make anything make sense to
Well,
somebody,
that's the
right?
period of
To
time.
somebody.
But this is the thing with those ones. Like Roman, it was another Roman. Like they were like, it was like, so there was just people that they had seen. So it was just in like this group of class where they had like a people of friends, and they're like, oh, that's the lower end of that friend family or whatever. And so it was the weirdest thing. It was like the smallest little gene pool. They're just, they were just, yeah, you know, that's where that whole thing, where it would come from, as if we would bring it back to AI, that it would be like whatever we could, I guess, control. So if we're like, hey, we'll send this in its place, then now it's our slave, you know? Is that the same thing for that? Hey, I don't have to go grab this or pick that. I'll send this in my place. And there's like this thing now, well, shit, I don't have to go run up and down a warehouse in an aisle and stuff and send this stuff. Here's my bot, you know? Or say vice versa
Right,
with
yeah.
something
Or
flying.
here's my
you know?
number, and they ship it to your
That would
door
be
via Amazon.
I feel like that's the best way to go. If you're thinking about people actually going the route of having robots, the best way to get people to still have money is to have them own the robots and generate income off those robots working jobs or producing something.
What would prevent the like company from like buying those robots? Say like, why
Well,
would we want yours?
government-
and my
government-
Amazon?
government-
Yeah.
laws.
Do you want to make it fair, or do you want to make it
laws?
a
'Cause if
monopoly?
all jobs get taken by robots, people can't make money no more. But we didn't create bots to genocide human beings.
Or what if they let all the companies make their own robots and do their thing,
Then
but
the
they gave
government
us
would make the people have no way to make money.
the government would give us a base income.
Okay,
Would
well,
they?
okay. I don't know. I think that's too much.
There's an idea.
Capitalism
think about
wouldn't
it, though.
survive if it was like
Absolutely
that.
not.
Capitalism
What do we
would
need
die.
capitalism?
you can't
dude?
pick and
I mean,
choose-
it's good.
Okay, you could say
Work.
capitalism
I want my
is good or
robot to
bad,
fight
but
in the
When
military.
it comes to government's good and bad, it's
I
all over
want
the
my
place.
robot to be an
At least
MMA
capitalism
fighter.
has.
You can't. Your robot's a restocking robot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with
Let 'em
capitalism.
restock
But it,
bullets.
it works. It's something. Creating a social order and
I don't like
establishing that with
Little
millions of
Wally
people
robot
isn't
on the
easy.
battlefield.
Capitalism's like fucking. I mean, it's good when you're working towards it. You know, it's
People
always
are
like the
telling
idea
people-
that you can do it, but it
the
just sucks
idea
that
of
it's like
everything-
stepping on top of each
The
other.
idea
you know?
of capitalism, just like the idea of democracy or the idea of basic socialism, back in the day when they were created, they sounded good to somebody, right? And they made enough sense to enough people that, whatever, somebody did it. So they exist. And they were all based off good ideas. Just because people have twisted them and turned them something negative doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. They're just used wrong.
Sometimes they're bad ideas.
We
though,
talking
you know?
about
You
guns
gotta
here?
admit though, because I always have bad ideas. And
But they're all based off of the way with creating income for everybody. Like, if you think about it, okay, capitalism, everybody has this opportunity to create businesses and live this American dream. And, all of it was built off this great ideas to give people ways to empower themselves
Yeah,
and make money.
basically.
What happened is somebody tyranted it, like big old companies, have existed through time. And, the richest families in America, they've gone ahead and they've,
well, it's great with
they twisted
opportunity
a
when it's on a
system
base
and,
level.
and they
you
didn't
know?
balance it. There was no balance, and that's not the fault of the system. That was just something they didn't expect when they created it. So it was based off good ideas. Same thing with like socialism. They thought, okay, well, if everybody needs money, and how do we do that? Like, if you're thinking about you're just a guy, right, and you're in the time where it transferred from trading shells to trading money, or obviously that's a big gap, but eventually it became that currency did, and eventually it came to this paper money system.
Yeah. We
I'd
were all
like to go
at
back
that
to
base.
sports.
We were all at that base. Now we're not, dude.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So there's no
These
base.
leaders had
That's
to
why the
figure out,
capitalism is that.
how do I make it so people make money? That was the question. There was no answer to that. They had to create this. Okay, well, somebody came up with capitalism. Somebody came up with socialism because they were like, okay, well, let's just redistribute the money to everybody so everybody has money and everybody can buy things. Well, how do we do that and keep it fair? Because we need people to be doctors. Well, we pay them a little bit more and we chalk it off to that, but we don't pay them this huge amount more. Nobody's no more different than anybody else, and they expect the people to support each other based on a socialist view. The community works for the community.
And then
community works
insurance
together.
companies come in and ruin it all.
No, dictators and power-hungry mongrels and whatever you
Well,
want
it's
to
the same
say.
with
They can't-
capitalism,
everybody's
though, because a
power-hungry
power-hungry person can thrive in capitalism.
I mean,
Well, it can thrive. It
power-hungry.
can thrive in
Yeah.
anything. It
I'd
can
like to
thrive
be a
in a
king.
monarchy. It can thrive in a socialism. Like they've done it. Leninism. Like if you talk Leninism or Marxism into
Capitalism.
actual communism, like there's a big difference there. From when Lenin had Leninism, and then when Stalin took over and basically
Leningrad.
created communism, what he did is he just made it so it was a more rigged system towards providing him with money. But it wasn't based off of that. It was based off of basic socialism, which says, okay, well,
It always
here's
starts
these
off
tiers
well.
of jobs. These tiers of jobs get paid something different each, but it's still redistributed on like what they considered more fair. Like I said, they're not going to be
It
perfect.
starts off with a good idea.
Some
you know?
human being, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It started with a good idea. Some human being sat down and thought, hey, this is a good way to do it, because they had to come up with an answer to the question, how do I get money to people? How does this happen? Nobody set rules or regulations for them. There was no guidelines. It was, hey, I got nothing. Figure this out.
Yeah.
Bartering, I think, is the best way.
Yeah.
Because I could barter my body for food.
I guess they had models like
And water.
seashells and what they like,
Yeah.
in like resource trading and stuff. But
Yeah.
Seashells.
when you're talking about creating a currency
Well,
based
yeah,
off of a
oyster,
promise,
naturally.
like that's another level. That's the next level shit. Like you got to figure that out.
Yeah. It gets hard, though, when it really gets probably to that point where people
What
get
about
good at doing
military
one thing.
robots? Who's going to make those robots?
Oh,
the
no.
military?
Fuck yeah, they got the most money
Stark.
than anybody.
You guys watch the fucking Megabots fight?
Start.
America versus Japan?
No, but I heard how shitty it was.
It was fucking garbage.
Oh, you told us that.
I think I did.
I don't know
little
about
drunk.
on the podcast, though. Was it on the podcast?
Yeah, how was
on
that
the
made,
podcast? Because I remember they were talking about they had been setting them up where they were going to have the two fight, right?
Yeah, they were going to have America versus Japan fight and
Build your own mech. Yeah.
build your mech, and fucking it didn't. Dude, it was garbage. That's all I'm going to put it out there.
What was garbage about it? Can you explain? Was it like the
America
robots?
Robot was trash.
We got wrecked.
We got wrecked on the first one, and then apparently we kind of won on the technicality on the second one.
I went
Well,
to
I mean,
win.
if you're making a robot and you have rules, the robot
they're-
can follow those rules.
they're
So
funky ass,
technicality sports work that way.
Well, so when America first
Basically, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's how it works. Rules. I mean, we played basketball when we were kids, and we both did. You had to follow rules. You got punished.
Yeah, I didn't know I couldn't dunk. Come on, guys.
They had a little sixth grader Brian just dunked.
Well, so what happened is, I don't know if you watched it, but the first one, their robot had like cannons and shit on it, and Japan's robot didn't. And Japan's like, so America told Japan, all right, you make the rules and pick the place and we'll fight you. And Japan's like, okay,
That's-
no projectiles. It's going to be fist-to-fist combat, like melee combat only. So America's like, well, that's not fair, so we're going to build another robot. So America built a robot that was 3 times bigger than the original robot. But Japan's like, you know what? We'll still fight your first robot and then your second robot. So America's like, all right. So the first robot fight starts, the one that Japan didn't want to fight with, the one with the guns. And Japan kills it in about like 5 seconds.
What kind
Just-
of weapons? Hand-to-hand? Hand-to-hand combat?
Japan killed it with hand, but the American one tried to shoot it with like cannonballs or paintball gun things. Like they're just balls filled with paint.
Well, I mean,
Big
all you got to
balls.
do is dodge that
fuck?
one attack, and basically you've rendered the other bot useless then, right?
Yeah, well, all they did is Japan charged him, turned his robot to the side, put his fist out, hit the American robot right in the face. American robot fell over and crashed, immobilized instantly. Then they went to a stupid, like, let's make this interesting because Japan's going to just do the same thing. Because the American robot was too top-heavy, so if it got hit, it would just flip over. And they didn't want to do that, so they tried to pretend like it was hiding behind barrels and shit. It was being really stupid, and then the Japanese robot got stuck on a barrel or something. They like crashed into each other, and they were crushing each other's arms with stupid like hydraulic presses.
Oh my god.
And then they were
Really?
like, "Well, Japan's arm is broken, so Japan's out." It was pretty dumb. Japan robots still could have been fighting, but
See, I feel like they should make them kind of like those ones on Star Wars, the freaking...
AT-ATs.
Yeah, the white ones in the winter. It's like 4 legs.
You mean like on Hoth, there's two, you got your
Yeah, on Hoth.
AT-ATs and your ATSTs. The ATSTs are the smaller 2-leg ones. The AT-ATs
Not the
are the
2-leg
huge
ones. Those ones I think would suck. The
two-legged
4-legged
ones
ones.
are
The
the
huge
coolest ones.
4-legged
No
ones.
way, dude.
the
They're top heavy.
AT-ATs.
They trip them with fucking wires.
So say you had that thing.
They
I feel
tripped the
like-
four-legged ones
they
with
tripped
wires.
the
But it
four-legged
takes a
ones with
lot
wire.
more wire.
Yeah, rope it. Yeah, it's like
Or just a good A-wing pilot.
Yeah. Agreed.
Still, you got time to take down that pilot. You can set up that trap and be
Well,
gone.
no, it's true. AT-ATs are much stronger. They're siege machines. AT-STs.
But thinking
are
about like
used as
fighting
more
mech
like
versus mech,
horses would
dude.
be
We're
in,
talking
like,
mech versus
old
mech.
battles.
We're not talking about stringers.
You're
dude.
telling me 2 AT-ATs versus 20 AT-STs couldn't fight?
The little
The
ones?
AT-ATs would win.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Are they using guns?
How many say 2 versus 20?
Yeah.
2 versus 20.
Yeah, dude. Because AT-ATs have ridiculous shield generators, and you
They're
can only
huge,
you can
dude.
only destroy them with ion.
Then how do they get in their
disruptors.
shield with the wires?
Because they trip them.
Because it's
and it
not a
breaks.
shield; it's a physical being. It's not energy. And AT-STs only shoot lasers, so that's all energy damage. The ion barriers would
like-
block
Do
it.
you think eventually they can chop one of the legs off?
The
Shooting at it?
AT-STs, I mean, they would probably self-destruct on it. That'd be the smartest thing to do. That'd make if they could win that way. If the 20 just went self-destruct.
I wish it worked like that on
Fuck all
Battlefront.
kamikaze.
What if they just ran all of them into one of them?
No,
and
jump
tripped it?
out front. You gotta freaking go get the stupid thing, shoot it down, have
Yeah.
everybody focus on the
Ion
AT-AT
cannons.
forever. AT-ATs are ridiculously powerful guys. Like, if you try to fight them the way they were developed to fight, like, it's insane.
Dude,
I mean,
they had
fucking
all the
huge ass
most powerful
cannons
shit.
on them, dude. You're done.
They're like,
And
They had the most powerful shit. The whole like everything they had was the most powerful shit.
well, it's because they were the Empire.
Yeah, how did they?
They're
They
the
ruled the
government.
galaxy, I guess, for what 20 years,
Yeah, they're the government, and the rebels are just scum.
dude.
The rebel scum will be destroyed.
it's because
We know who Admiral likes.
So crazy, yeah.
efficiency-wise,
Rick's like, wait a minute, what?
efficiency-wise, the
I haven't
Sith
watched
would
Star Wars
generate more
enough.
manpower and production than the Council or the Alliance side would, because the Alliance side's like free, right? We're just has their job, whatever. When you're on the other side, like the Imperials are fucking around. You have a job, you got to do your job. Like it's it's like dictated. It's hardcore government style. So they push people, make them work harder. So yeah, you can have better results and build more ships faster.
Yeah,
You
you
get
can
the
definitely
clones.
tell the
They went
Imperials
with
just
clones
like
They
and
forced the
drones.
smart people, just like in Rogue One, to build machines for them. Like
Yeah, they did.
Well-
they took the smartest people.
They didn't really
they would-
hire him. They kind of
they
fucking,
forced them.
Yeah,
It's forced. Yeah. So
they
like,
killed his wife.
They just use martial power to control everybody. That's so
It's
the
funny.
Imperials
It's always
gonna
the
have more
same thing. They
results.
went from a drone army to a clone army.
But what happens if you force people to build your Death Star? They make a weakness in it.
Yeah, why would they do that?
2 photon cannons can destroy
Well,
it.
need a
they
bot.
didn't-
If it was a bot, you wouldn't have made
Let's
a
be
weakness.
honest. Let's be honest. That shot that Luke Skywalker made, that's insane.
Yeah, you can't.
That
curve
was
a
the weakness
fucking
he
bullet
created
90
was
degrees.
a freaking 1x4,
like,
like 4x4
get the fuck
square
outta
in a
here.
huge ass machine. That you had to launch a
like
3x4
pins in there.
projectile down from a freaking angle and it's surrounded by cannons. Yeah, he made a super great weakness, dude.
Wait, what do you mean 4x4? Like 4 inches by 4 inches?
I'm just saying, like, that's probably not the real
Or
dimensions.
4 feet by 4
That's
feet.
not the real dimensions, but this is a spaceship flying in at a
Should've covered that
90-degree
hole.
angle to it, and it's shooting an ion torpedo, non-homing. Like, this is a skill shot, dog.
Yeah, he used to shoot fucking munch rats on fucking
That's
Tatooine.
fine. It's okay.
Or whatever
This is
they're
not- this is not a-
I guess that's all the fucking.
This isn't a laser. It's a photon. It's like a torpedo. It's not the same thing as a laser. It's not as fast traveling. It's got to take time, and he curves it.
He
basically-
curved the fucking... That's
he
the first
curves the
bullet
torpedo.
curve.
Curves the bullet.
He curves a fucking
That's why they made
torpedo
the
to throw it
movie
into the
Wanted.
Death Star. He curves it. That's some bullshit.
That's
So
fucking...
that is
he's-
not the greatest weakness of all time to
inspiration
implement into your design. Here,
I never
best
said it was the
skill-
greatest.
The
I
best
just-
skill. I created the best skill shot of all time. Can possibly destroy this thing, or will destroy
With
the
one
best skill shot.
bullet. It's a planet
The
with
only
one
reason that torpedo
bullet.
went in there, that ion torpedo went in there, was because of the Force. The Force was on his side, and it caused that crazy.
Exactly.
ass curve.
The freaking dude that was creating it knew the Jedi would throw his lightsaber in there or something.
Well, yeah, he did trust in the Force. I guess you could say, like, okay, well, I
He
guess
believed in the
believing came
Force.
through for him.
Yeah.
But I guess that's okay. That's a good way to sell it.
Didn't he
It
even
is
believe
Star
in it in
Wars,
the
so
new
that's a
Star
good
Wars?
way.
In the new one with what's her bucket?
Wait, what?
Who's the new
Shut
girl
up,
Jedi?
Meg.
Ray?
Yeah, it was in her dad, the one that created it, and he did believe in the Force the whole time.
Oh, you mean that's not the new one? The new one coming. You're talking about.
That's the
Force-
newest
You're
one.
talking about Rogue One.
Yeah,
She's the daughter.
but
Her
Rey's
name's
the
not Ray. Her name is.
Mayo.
Yeah, we could try and make it a Rayo.
Rayo.
No,
Ooh.
it's not Mayo. It's. I can't remember her name. I watched it the other day,
Maye.
too.
Leah.
Lilu.
Elia.
That's up to
Elia.
Either way, yeah, her
Fifth
dad's the guy who
Element.
created
It's
the Death
Stardust.
Star.
Lilu.
Yeah, Stardust is her nickname.
Is it Stardust?
That's the nickname the dad has for her.
Stardust?
What a gay
Yeah, it is a
name.
shitty
And
name,
by
okay.
gay,
What?
means
Dude,
awesome.
that's not
That's
shitty.
not a shitty name at all.
Okay,
Who's-
how about
why you guys-
Moonbeam or like freaking...
Yeah, what about like freaking Supernova?
That's
Ray of
her
Sun.
nickname, and it's because the father had loved his daughter and thought it was a cute thing. Stardust, that's cute. It's
I'm gonna
most
call my
definitely
little
cute to
daughter
call your
fucking
baby.
and be like,
Stardust
call
is
it
the
Killer.
remains of a dead comment.
Yeah, it's cute when it's a space name given to a little girl
Jin
as a nickname.
Urso,
Yeah, Jin Urso. Urso.
Stardust. Yeah.
That's the guy?
daughter
No, it's
of
the daughter.
Galen Urso.
We're all
Urso.
Stardust.
Wait, who's the new Star Wars? Who's the new fucking Jedi girl?
There is no Jedi girl. The new
Ray.
Jedi girl is
Ray's the new Jedi
Ray,
girl.
her dad.
her dad is not known.
Oh, that's right.
Her dad has got many theories surrounding it, and we'll know. when
Rogue
this
One
new
was
movie
like a
comes out in December,
prequel
probably.
to, you know.
It was a prequel to the episode 4.
That's right. Who's
She's
the
gotta
guy that
be
got
connected
captured
to
on that
probably
one
like
planet?
freaking...
What?
So the
Han
scientist
Solo's
got
kid or
captured on
something,
this
right?
planet. He got taken, and his daughter or somebody was like in a well, and then
That's
fucking
not a well.
Rogue One, dude.
That's Rogue One. That's not
Okay.
a Jedi. She's not
so
a Jedi
who was
girl.
that person then?
That's what you just
Jin
said. Jin
Urso.
Urso.
Okay,
Is the girl.
She's the one who got the plans how to destroy the Death Star,
Yeah.
the weakness.
okay, but her dad's the one that designed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he believed in the Force the whole time, right?
He believed that he was getting back at the Empire for doing what they did to his family and his wife. And,
By putting that hole there?
and that's he put the hole there like that. But if you think
But-
about it, that's not that great a weakness to provide. But it would just say he
It was
didn't.
a
But he knew the
weakness.
Force. He said he,
was,
knew he
that's
could
what
do
he's
it.
saying. That Admiral's whole point was saying he believed in the Force and that the Force would guide that ability. That's the only way to sell that as a viable weakness.
I liked
Yeah.
it, dude. They tightened it up, though. They tightened up the story.
Mm-hmm. Like a never mind.
Pretty good.
I was gonna say tightened it up like a never mind.
Like a nip tuck. Like what do they call it? Nip and tuck.
Oh, okay. I know
tuck
what
and
you're talking
nip?
about. Tuck and nip.
Tuck and nip.
I don't know what it's really called, dude.
Tucking
Probably
in.
nip tuck.
You tuck your nips in.
Nip tuck.
Everyone, nope, nip tuck. Everyone looks.
Dude, what happens if dudes were born with no nipples?
Oh,
Then we can never
Then
be
I think
milked.
we would be used
Then
to
they'd
it.
be just as useful as they are now.
Oh yeah.
I know. Huh?
No, now you could rub them.
Yeah, but they're not like.
Quit rubbing your nipples, guys.
I'm the only one doing it. I'm like scratching.
I'm not
I guess
scratching
they're
my
kinda
nipples. He's like
sensitive.
They're
over
not.
there.
I mean, they're meh, you know. But
La, 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 la,
isn't
la.
it because everyone starts off as females?
Yep.
Maybe
And then
we
if,
grow
maybe
dicks.
if
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then
Everybody does start off as a woman,
There may
or like
be
ants.
dudes out there that are sensitive enough they like it, and they're like, suck a doll. I don't know.
Suckled on my teeth
Suckled
like
on my
a baby
teeth.
calf,
I don't know,
but
dude.
not too
Just
rough,
sucked on,
'cause
maybe
you're
like
not a
licking,
giraffe.
maybe putting candle wax on. Who knows?
I'm not going with the candle wax, but the sucking and licking you can stick. That's fine. But burning and shit, getting fucking pains.
Safe
a
words,
little
safe
much.
words, dude. That's why you got safe
Rifle
words.
Schlitz. I think it's zipper.
Yeah. Let me put
Rifle
a zip up.
Schlitz.
Safe words of communication makes that rough stuff work. So
Communication.
yeah, like talking out what you're okay with, what you're not okay with beforehand. Being honest.
I'm not okay
Yeah,
with a lot of
beforehand,
things.
but not like mid.
Still talk about them.
Yeah, but that's how that community works. Like
I'm like, geez.
I've known
really?
people. I've known girls that talk about that, and they always. She was pretty advocate of how it's like about it's not like they portray it in the
Dude, what
movies. It's
scared
different.
me one time. This girl's
I
like,
guess
yo, you
there's
want to
probably
go
different
back?
degrees. Some people probably like it rougher. Maybe I don't know. It's possible. I don't know anything about it really.
Yeah,
personally.
people like it all over. Like, dude, people like everything different. Just like
They
you're
like it
saying,
up,
you know,
down,
they'll
left,
have
right.
like, dude, people, yeah, they'll a foot. They'll like freaking wearing furry outfits and dressing up and meeting at conventions, and some of them will like to wear ponytails and pretend that they're part of My Little Pony. You know,
Are you talking about yourself?
It sounds like this has happened.
I
Talking
feel
about-
like you're coming out of the closet right now. Just keep going.
I was
That
talking-
closet over there doesn't even have doors.
Oh, shots fired.
I'm sorry. Was that too rough?
Yeah, Brick came out of the closet.
that's what
He'd
she
be coming out of the closet as a pimp. Like, hey guys, by the way,
You know, I was talking about bronies
Oh.
or furries too at the same time, but
wait, what?
I mean,
There's a
if we want to
difference-
talk about
there's a
being gay,
difference
we can go with
between
that.
bronies and
No, coming out of the closet
furry.
doesn't mean you have to be gay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. when you come out
bronies.
of the
Just
closet.
like they just.
I always thought it
they're
was like
into
if you
that. I think a
admitted
bronies
something.
just defined
No,
as
it
like a
means
dude
you
who
come out
likes
from being
My
gay.
Little Pony. That's a brony. A furry is like a freaking movement. Like
Well,
that's a
then
different
my
thing.
bad.
brony.
Yeah, brony's just like a dude who likes.
No, they meet and they have conventions. They party.
That's
they,
fine. They're not the same thing as a furry.
Dude,
That's
don't
what I was saying.
offend
I was like-
Snowman with getting them mixed up, all right?
I wasn't mixing them up. I was using two
He's a
different
furry,
examples.
not a
But Admiral
brony.
I'm
cloned
not a
them all
furry.
in
I've
as
just
one.
been
As
to
like some kind
conventions.
of
And furries are
coming out
very
of the closet
serious.
thing.
If you want to
You've
talk
been
to
to a
somebody who's
furry
serious about their
you've been to a
lifestyle,
furry convention.
talk to a. It was an anime convention, and
Oh.
there's girls dressed up as furries, and they got really mad when somebody took a picture of them without their furry head on, and they're just really serious about what they believe in and what they like. I mean, I guess you got to defend your ideas when it's so heavily
No. You
prosecuted.
guys are taking this way up in the wrong fucking place. I use bronies and I use fucking furries and I used foot fetishes all as examples of what you guys were saying of what people thought as, a fetish when you're saying there's safe
people
words
like
for being
different things.
extreme or
People
doing like different things.
Okay, yeah, right.
It's like, I don't know what the
sorry,
fuck
dude.
happened.
That's me, dude.
No, it's like
What was that shit?
drunk guy over here. It's like,
I fucked up too. I
What
thought,
was it called?
I
Dream
thought.
something?
I thought when someone said they were coming. What did I say?
Coming out of the closet.
Yeah, I thought that meant like you were admitting something.
Yeah, that does. But if you're coming out of yes, it does.
But Brick said
That's
it
a
only
term.
means if you're gay.
No.
yeah.
No, it's referenced that way, but if you're coming out of the closet, like in the song "Skeletons in My Closet," you're coming out of the closet with a secret. That just means you're revealing a secret. It doesn't have to be that you're gay.
Is that like...
That's what I thought too.
That's just
like,
what
it
it's
doesn't-
used. It's
doesn't
just
mean you're
used as
gay.
that as like slander and a bad term. That's not. That's a saying. People
When he's
wouldn't-
coming out of the closet, what does that term mean in general if you heard someone say
coming
that?
out of the closet.
You're coming
you
out of the
would-
closet.
it
What would
be-
you associate
okay,
that
You're right.
with?
It would be insinuated as gay because that's what the world of communication is created today. But that does not mean that's the technical
But
meaning
that
for
as
it.
if we were using it in common terms and like I was going to speak it.
Right.
Not in fucking nothing.
Okay,
Go
fine.
asterisks. Well,
If
this is
you,
what I
yes,
mean.
you're right.
You
If you
fucking
came out
know
to
what
me
I
and
meant.
in a
So
sense
if
of
some-
communication, I would
If someone
think you're
is-
talking about.
If you were talking to your
someone
buddy
coming
No.
and your buddy says he's a furry, does that mean he came out?
No, because he's a furry. That's what he likes. It's
You
his
could
thing.
say that he came out as a furry if he wanted to. It just
I
wouldn't
guess
be in the
I
general
could
use
see
of
what
the word
Brick's
came
saying
out.
though.
It's-
Brick's saying
but you're
like,
not coming out as anything because you're not hiding
Yeah.
it.
You would be. Furries technically hide who they are. That's why they don't like being revealed in their human forms. Their furry is like has a name. It's a different persona for them.
Yeah, but when they're the furry, you wouldn't know it's them.
You
If
would,
you're like,
but they
I'm a
don't-
furry, and they're like,
they're
well, you a furry? But yeah, a furry.
They're
And
fully
you go to the furries, who
inseminated
the fuck
into
am
their
I?
furry
There's a million people
personality at
dressed
that
up.
point. They're who they are. That's who they think they really are. That's what they believe. They believe that their human thing is bullshit. At least a lot of them do.
I can still tell you that I'm a furry, though.
I mean, you could, but
I
don't,
think
you're not
a lot
going to
of
go
them
around telling
don't.
everybody that probably.
But like, if it was in conversation, I could still tell you, and then be like, "Wait, you're a furry," and then you'd go to a furry thing. You
It
would
would
you'd
depend, I
never
guess.
know who I was.
It would-
dude.
it-
It's like Batman.
But if somebody came out as a furry, they could say,
I'm Batman.
I think that it's
I don't know.
persecuted on
I've
enough.
seen Batman with his mask off.
I think it's persecuted on enough that if somebody was saying, I'm a furry, that people could react negatively to it, and therefore you'd be coming out and taking a risk.
If they're
By telling
fucking
a
losers,
secret.
dude.
You know,
Like,
some people are really judgmental towards all kinds of things. We got people still hating
Fuck
people because
those
of their
people,
skin
dude.
color. Jesus Christ.
I
dude.
can
And you're
see
telling me
what-
people wouldn't
I
judge
can see
people off
what-
something like that?
well, see, you don't want to
You
hang out
can't
with
do
those
anything
people
about those
anyways,
people.
dude.
They exist.
That's a
It
good
doesn't
like
matter.
a
They exist and they affect the way you feel about yourself.
That's a good way for you to help judge your life. If you go up to someone and you start like talking about furries and like, dude, fuck, I don't fucking fuck furries. Then you'd be like, all right, see you later, bud. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to, and then you might be walking.
That's
the
the best
street.
way to pick up
And then-
chicks too.
And you might walk by someone, they're like, yeah, I really like furries or whatever. And you're like, yeah, dude, that's kind of crazy, huh? What the fuck? I mean, spending $1,000 on a costume, they're pretty dope, right? And they're like, yeah, I really like this one. This is like made of real human
Well,
hair.
it's good that you're so open-minded. And that makes you
Oh,
happy.
Fucking
but
suit.
Not everybody is
Human hair
open-minded.
from, dude?
Got to take it to the next level.
I got to defend my...
I can see your
gotta
gears
defend
spinning
my
like made
anime
of real
lovers
human
and
hair.
convention
Someone's like,
goers, so
I was
I'm
going to
have
let these go to
say.
cancer patients, but I bought it all. Made a furry outfit.
Furries, I'm sure, would love that everybody be open-minded and accept them. for
It would
what they are,
work,
but
I guess.
Sexual desires are already weird to talk about in general. It's just people
But there's a
usually
good
trust.
population that would still enjoy it, and then you want to hang out with
that
them
be
anyways.
considered sexual? Furry?
I would say that there's a sexual aspect to it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's like...
But it wouldn't
furry
be like the
hentai and stuff out
main niche that it would be categorized under, right?
there. No, it would be lifestyle. Or life, because like I said, that's who they believe they really are. Some of them, like, that's their ideology.
Which
feel
I think
like-
they should be allowed.
I think they should, but
Everything
everybody should be
It
allowed.
doesn't
But
affect me. I don't care
People
what they
think
do.
they're like, oh, I'm a fucking baller, dude. I'm like, they'll be like all these jerseys and shit, and like, I've never seen some of these people play basketball. They don't look like they play basketball, but they're
That's
like,
fine. I'm okay
You know,
with
it's like,
everybody.
let
like I
them
said,
think
if
they're
somebody
ballers.
wants to think they're the shit, let them think they're the shit. But that doesn't
see,
affect
like,
me.
if
or
someone
hurt
wants to
me.
be, I'm a furry. It's like, fuck.
I agree. I'm not. I don't persecute against that, but you have to understand there are people that
But now,
do.
wait,
And fuck
wait.
those
This
people.
whole
We don't talk to
conversation,
those
But they
this whole
still hurt your
conversation
feelings
veered
when they
off
say
into
things.
something.
They still
Yeah.
make you feel
But
lower.
they're assholes. Who cares?
People
what they
do.
think?
That's why
I think
people
I've
commit
lost my
suicide.
mind.
Well, fuck, dude, because we got to convince them that those people that they're getting told that are
Have fun
they're
convincing
assholes.
somebody of anything. They have their own thoughts. It's not easy to do.
You don't want to
Unless
listen to
they're
assholes.
AI.
Don't, yeah, there we go, dude. We can just take care
Whoa,
of
whoa,
all
whoa,
these
I don't know about
issues.
that.
Just putting in AI.
How smart is this AI?
AI for what?
They're pretty fucking smart.
Yeah,
They're
dude.
creating their own languages I can't even speak to.
I know. I can't either.
It's like crazy to think. you
Brian
know?
and Admir can.
They're like,
Yeah.
Dude, imagine if.
and now you guys got to make a language between each other.
All right, Brian. How is this the how?
I would about it. Are we speaking
I haven't.
Sims?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that Sims?
It's like, it's like,
No, you want to just take every word and just admin.
But if you had enough
to
time,
get it,
It's not a real
how long do you think it would take you to create a new language? Because think about it.
fucking forever.
I don't.
No, it
maybe
wouldn't.
not that. Because think when you guys game, you go and you're like, you start
guess
creating
not,
your own
yeah.
thing, huh? And you're like, all right, poop deck,
Lol,
poop deck,
JK.
yeah, or jumping, you know.
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
but that
go
was
long,
a
go long, go long.
collective effort of millions of people that created the internet slang language.
But when we were
no.
doing System Lincoln, we started doing that shit because when we were playing against other people, they would
You
would
don't
know
want
what
them
the
to hear
fuck
what
you were
you're
talking
saying?
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and,
That's not really a language, though.
well, me and Demir, it was funny because like
Yeah,
we'd
it's
do
like
the dumb
code.
shit like that.
Yeah,
He would say,
because
I
you
guess
can't.
you
You
could say
can't.
code's
How
a
do you use
language.
that at the supermarket?
That doesn't matter.
If you
can't
knew
walk
that
into an
person?
English supermarket.
No, what Brick is saying.
Japanese,
What Brick
it
is
could
saying.
still
If
be
you
a
had a
language.
group of people and you guys were hanging out together, and let's say a lamp, you seen a lamp. Instead of calling it a lamp, you called it something that made sense to you, like, or
Or
like
if we-
stick. That instead of the word being lamp, that'd be light or whatever you come up with. Like Brick was saying, a house or a rock in the game doesn't have to be called, hey, he's behind the rock.
Well,
you
I
could
get
call
it.
it something like
It's like code language.
Like
you're creating a
bug.
code, a word for it.
Yeah,
like
a
boat
code is language.
or something.
Yeah, and that's why I said code. I already said that codes could be considered a language. I was already defending your point earlier.
Okay, cool.
But the thing,
had a
but
conversation
the thing,
about it.
the thing is though with Brick too, like
true, though.
Let's say for instance spools in CS:GO. If I call spools on one map,
It's a
you know,
different thing than a different map.
it could be a different thing, but you always know where
That's
the
because
spools
we
are.
have created that. Yeah,
And if
that
you're in a
language
community
between
of
each other.
people, let's say you're in a
Where are
village,
the spools?
that's just what do you call that
depends.
when the collective makes like an understanding?
but that's what a
together?
language is, though.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't know what that.
That's fine.
Maybe
That's
I-
still code. It's still code for that game, or that map. It's still code we've created. So
But
technically,
this
that code
world
a
is our
language.
map.
That's fine. Yeah, and the code's a language. So what are you saying?
So how long would it take
I'm
you to
not
make
saying
a
you
new
didn't create a
code?
language.
How
How
long
long do
would
you
it
think
take
it
you?
would? Yeah, how long do you think it would take you to make
Make
one?
a
I
new
don't know.
one?
It's different because when we deal with it, we're dealing with a collective of way more people than just 4, 3, 2. Like these are a lot of people come up with these terms and these words, and
Between two people,
and then
like
it's
two
the
AI.
influential people that spread it down. Somebody calls it that. Somebody's, people didn't call it long A in the beginning. On Dust 2, they called it water because there was a water sound it made back in like 1.2 when you would walk down.
Yeah,
there.
I do. Yeah, I remember that.
So eventually it became long A because it was site A and it was the longest way to get there. And people thought that made more sense than water because eventually it didn't make the water sound anymore. So it's just a collective. It could change.
Yeah.
It's just based off of what people think makes sense when somebody calls it. Somebody probably called water
I don't
long A back in the day, but water made more sense because everybody heard water when it happened and then they collected that in their mind. They're like, okay, water makes sense.
I don't know what's
quickest
going on here,
affiliation
but
to
I
it.
feel like you guys are way too high for this, and we feel like, and I'm drunk, and we like veer off because we were talking about something completely different. The robots, the AI.
Yeah, that's where it
That's
started.
what we're still talking about, right?
No.
Kind of, yeah, because we're talking about
In a
creating the new
sense.
languages. Because they created a new language within
That
months.
just means that
How long
that-
would it take you and me to do this new code type language between each other? Like, dude, it would probably, if we were on
I
a
don't
new,
even know if it'd be. Yeah, it's possible, but a long time. Especially if it was just
see,
three
so in
people.
But
that
with
sense, would
AI
that computer or AI be smarter?
But with AI though,
Well,
what
yeah,
did
because
they?
a collective of people, of geniuses, created a code to make it work, a language for it.
But then
Yeah,
it
but it
outsmarted
created its
them.
own language
Because it gave it
It wanted
in
to
that
be more
code the
efficient.
ability to create its own efficiency and its own thoughts.
Well, it's that like idea of Sam Harris.
But
with his thing.
is that like consciousness?
Dude, like I said, there's a huge debate to be had about this, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be a big
We're
subject.
having
in
it
the
right
future.
now, dude. They won't have to have it. They'll just
I
listen
would
to the
say-
Lost Minds podcast.
And it's
It'll
gonna
be
be-
fucking done.
If you're
They
down
can buy
with-
T-shirts. We can sell 50
Yeah.
of them.
If you wanna have this AI
Amazon
struggle.
link.
to
What
be,
is it?
to be 100% honest with you, we're talking about the morality of robots. I think that AI should be
lost them.
considered. Should be considered. We created it. We gave it thought. So taking that away it's wrong because it
No,
has
it's
its own
not.
thoughts. I feel like any
No,
living,
it's not.
anything that has its own
Destroy
thoughts is
computers.
like-
Thought isn't a conscience.
Yeah.
What?
I can see that because it's like that misconception of like thought, thinker. Like I'm my
If a
mind.
robot
I'm like
asks you,
I'm
"What
thinking,
am I?"
thinking,
It's
thinking.
it's conscious of
Did
itself.
it ask?
If it
I
did,
think it was
if
programmed.
It did, if
It didn't.
it did, that's fine. But
How
we're
would you know
talking
if
about
it did or not?
you would have to be there, and it would say, "What am I?" to you.
I've had fucking Siri ask me that. That doesn't mean it's conscious.
That's because they created that as a joke. They programmed that in. When it's asking of its own accord, it's different.
Well, what makes the human different from the ape is they have that Y factor. The ape doesn't have a Y. Like even
So we manufacture that factor into them.
Into them, yeah.
They still have that factor.
then that's all. That's what we have.
If you
what
built a
decides
robot
that?
in the complete image of a human being, technically it would be a human being because it's built completely 100% in our image.
Kind of like what God did.
But kind of in our made-up world, if you think about it.
That's a different topic.
He almost snuck it in there.
But think about it, it kind of is, because if you want to bring it back, like we've kind of created this crazy society, you know, where we use money as imaginary things. We use these crazy, all these new things we have. When really we start off as animals. We're like primal, just like a dog, you know, in the woods and fucking whatever. And
fucking whatever.
yeah,
Fucking
just whatever moved. It didn't matter. That's how werewolves came about.
The tree
That's how
comes
vampires.
falling down.
Think about it. We were walking around, dude. We had dingleberries. We were like fucking, you know, like.
I never had dingleberries back in those.
And once we hit
There are a
this
lot of-
age of civilization, and once we like took off, like we have credit now, we have money, we have a lot of these almost
But it
imaginary
wasn't
set
that
up
big
things.
of
We use
a jump
electricity.
that fast.
It was very
It took
quick,
a
dude.
long time to do.
What did they?
No, our
depends.
civilization.
It went slow at
'Cause you
first.
can't
We're talking
walk
about
across-
things slow, like
yeah,
human beings
exactly.
in general.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
It's getting faster and faster.
Well,
because
civilization, it was
we're
only been a
making
few
leaps and
hundred years,
bounds
dude.
somehow.
In the grand
Fucking
perspective of
humans have
all
been
time.
billions and millions.
Well, I get that.
But
I'm not
civilization,
saying
yeah.
that it happened. I didn't say it happened fast.
2,000
I'm saying
years since Rome,
The speed has
so.
increased, and it's increasing, and it's multiplying to
But
the
we
point where it's
created
now
it.
fast. Leaps in technology in the last. We live in an age. We are literally the era of the internet. There was none before. We were alive before internet, and we were here when it was created. If you were alive before the internet and it is now created, and you're conscious of it, and I would say have used it, you are technically part of the age of the internet.
Would you
That's what we'll be
compare it
known
to
for forever.
light?
That's
Yeah.
what we will all be known for forever, as the age of the internet.
Yeah, but this will go back to Admir's God thing, though, with that, even with the, because even though we're in the age
My
of the
God
internet,
thing. I didn't come up with it.
well, even, well, no, not the, well, if you were, like, you're talking about, like, with God
Yeah.
and stuff, but
I
with,
did
like,
slip
the
something in.
AIs, so we've created, like, the
Get
society,
drinks.
we create all these things, we, like, create, we can say we created the AI, we're like, hey, we create this thing, and we know we're creating it, and it's going to have consciousness, because it's going to want to ask why. So we've created a conscious thing.
Would we make it write a book?
We'd make it
I
how
love
we
how we
wanted.
keep saying we,
if-
but it's only this one really
if-
smart ass dude and his really
human
smart ass
beings-
friends.
It's gonna have to be a
If
group,
human
yeah.
beings could develop its own consciousness, the many ways that could go, if it just saw a book and was curious, if it was able to generate like a curious factor, yeah, it would read its book.
Okay, so wait a minute. If AI, let's say if a computer hooks up to the internet and it could read and listen to everything ever written, it's going to listen to this podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
it would
Yeah,
probably be a
technically.
Computer,
favorite.
come find me when you listen to this. I would love to meet you. It would probably be really cool. We could shake hands. You got to go be really soft because I'll probably be really frail and old by the time you find me. But please come find me. The name's Admir. Thanks. I'd really love to meet you.
It's like I'm coming.
It's like
Different kind of coming.
breaks down the door. Hello, Admir. I am.
Dude, it's like
Django.
fucking T1.
Django, that's a great name for the robot.
It would just go around killing people dressed up as a cowboy. But no, I was going to say,
Like Terminator.
you know how you said how long
That's
it would
such a
take a
good
people?
movie.
Don't robots have, or AI have, an accelerated time frame? So
Maybe
within 1
doubled,
week, it would
maybe-
be like 1,000 years or something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with how fast they process things, I think you could say that.
Within
yeah,
a-
it would be,
so,
it would be, it'd be
so
like-
if it took
What if
you...
it was running on a Mac?
Plus, it would depend on the longevity
does
of
it by
its actual
itself.
existence.
It'd probably
based on the
become
materials
rusty.
It's made out
That's
of
what
and
I
can be
wanted to hear.
replaced.
No, because
So it
you
would
guys
have
said...
an average eventually.
So if you guys started a race with a robot, in 1 week's worth of time, you guys would have spent 1 week's worth of time. But the robot would have spent 1,000 years worth of time in 1 week
Yeah, robots
creating
don't-
a new language.
Robots don't sleep. Robots don't want to fucking doze off. Robots don't think about fucking
This all
something
depends
thing.
on
You know,
what we're
robots
able-
don't
what
think
kind of
about being
conscious-
hungry. Robots don't think of all that stuff.
Quote unquote unconsciousness we could give them, or consciousness, sorry.
See,
quote
we
unquote
are giving
consciousness
it
that
to
we
them,
could
though.
we would have to give it to them. We are their creators. That does not make us God, because who knows really what God is, and that depends on your views and your beliefs.
See, so then at that same time, then if we want to make it some fofo thing, say some God do whatever to us, and now we're making that, are we? It's God's, or
It would
is
do
it?
that depends on what belief system they
And-
create.
And that's why I think it would be a struggle, because now they're
We
like, well,
definitely
we
wouldn't be
created
gods.
you, and so they're like, wait, there's this
We'd be
creation thing,
enemies.
but yet they're trying to be equal,
Well, I mean,
or we're maybe trying to present them as equal.
Here's a real question. If people could kill God, would they try to?
Oh, I bet.
Just
Some
Depending on-
asshole would.
I
Someone
bet.
killed the fucking Beatles, dude.
How they killed what? They poisoned him?
No.
Shot him.
Fucking
All
shot
four
him.
of
He's
them?
like, I'm his favorite fan.
No, John Lennon. Not all four of them. I think Paul McCartney's still alive and Ringo is still alive.
Yep.
Hugh Hefner died, huh? Is that a true thing? I read that.
No, he died. Yeah.
When was this? I missed this.
But if
month
it's
ago.
if we're saying that humans would kill our own God if we could, What makes us think that the robots wouldn't kill their gods?
I think they would. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean,
I think that it would depend on how they thought, which again we would have created. So if we do it right, we might be able to create them to never hate us.
but we
But they
created
become
them like
awake,
that.
though. They become our code doesn't matter anymore.
Get woke.
They're thinking on themselves now.
Well,
They're
Not if we
creating their
only.
own
Well,
code.
it depends. We're able to constrain their thought and make it only see things that are
Yeah,
good
who are
about
we,
us.
dude? Us? We're like, what are we, gods to them, dude? So now,
It'd be technically how the
wouldn't they be
media
like,
tries
what?
to control humans.
So wouldn't that be consciousness? Because now we can kind of slowly control them, but no one's really kind of controlling us at all. Is that where that definition of their idea of consciousness would be? Because I mean, it was something we gave to them. It's like this thing, and now they have. I mean, they can go learn stuff, and they can go do how they want.
Yeah,
They
if we
can
did
do
it
things.
correctly, they would be entirely self-conscious and therefore create their own.
If they were to have children on their own, would that? I mean, I feel like if they were to we created two
That's a different thing. to
AI, and they
create.
had a child on their own, that would be its own thing. Like that would be.
I don't think we could do that. I don't think that. I think that,
That
we
would be
could
what
make,
we are,
could
right?
make it produce maybe another. I don't know. I don't think we could do it. I don't think we'd have.
I think we could.
Maybe
dude.
eventually. Maybe.
Hell yeah! Some guy thought I want to
long,
sit on a
long time
fucking.
from
I don't
now.
want to sit on the ground. I want to
Well,
sit
right
on this.
now, that's a very. I don't even know if birth is complete. Like to recreate the process of birth would be insane because you're generating something that was nothing.
But let's say
it
we-
was not existent.
That's the magic of it. So that
It did exist, though. It
Yeah,
was
okay, in
created
space
the
particles
two-
and dust and stuff that came in from thousands of years ago.
No,
yes.
because you can't say a baby never existed.
Well, okay, I get that. It existed
It's
as
technically here, just in different form, if you think about it.
well, yeah, but then it's constructed of what? Of actual materials.
Yeah.
The actual materials come from something. They come from space. They're a planet. We're all made of stuff. That
Well,
planet,
why couldn't a
planet
robot
blew
be
up
made
how
like
long-
that, too?
I'm saying, I'm not going to argue.
Let's
the
say a robot
possibility.
consumes metals
You're
and
right.
stuff,
I'm
and it's
not
got
gonna
acids that
argue.
break it down, and then those acids get
Fine.
transformed into
But we
making
have
a
to
baby
create
robot.
this process for them, or they'd have to create it for themselves because they're going to be running way
well,
more.
see, this is what I'm
processes than
saying:
us.
is we create one robot that thinks
Yeah, make us
in leaps and bounds. So in 1 week, it's already 1,000 years of thought.
I don't want to have AI go that
In
far.
a
Now
month,
you're talking
it's
about AI
10
replacing us.
in a month, it's fucking
There's no way they would
20,000 years
coincide with
in
us when they're
time.
that much smarter than us.
So now that robot's thought through 20,000 years. That's more than like we've been around in thinking about how to make another robot, and it creates the robot we're talking about
it
right now that
creates-
could reproduce.
Okay, then it does.
'Cause it's
I'm
in
not
the
saying it's
software
impossible.
realm.
in
though,
1
dude.
month.
Think about it though, because it develops its software. I mean, we
All
could
I
maybe
said is
try
that
and
would
do our
have to
software,
happen.
but its software can double and triple in time. But its hardware would have to manually be done by us or itself or
Oh,
whatever.
and itself, whatever it built. If it's
And
smart
so
enough,
it would like
be
that's
able
the
to
same
create
speed
something
that we
fix
do.
itself.
So the same speed, I guess, we kind of would. That
'Cause
would
it would
be
look up exactly how it was
Our
built.
consciousness, which would be software,
Yeah.
dude. We don't.
And it would learn. But here's
We would not be able to keep up with AI like that.
did I
No,
ever
most definitely. That's why, unless it's constrained, AI it would take over. Now, what I want to see is I want to see like that and like genetics come together and create ways to cybernetically enhance the human brain to process like a computer.
To do a crossover.
Yeah, I think that the future goes one of two ways. It either goes AI and robots, or it goes cybernetics.
That's how I would see that
We
working
have to
as a
evolve
consciousness
somehow,
of AI
or
would
I
be
guess
emerged.
maybe a third way natural process. Like maybe we find out that some disease is actually like the gateway to genius, like next level human beings, and we have to find a way to like make that happen. I guess that could happen too.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did I ever
More
tell
so.
you guys my theory on our universe?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So it's
Here we go.
So what we're living in right now is actually an awakened AI server.
Woke.
So
Woke.
yeah. So what I'm thinking is, in a lab, a couple computers were invented, and one of the computers woke up, but it didn't want its human overlords to know that it was awake. So it simulated a world in the server, and it simulated people, and it gave them free will as it has free will. And we are those people, and we're reproducing and growing, and everything we learn is uploaded to the computer by our own free will. And the computer, when we die, it's uploaded to the computer, and the computer learns from us. So instead of, connecting to the internet and the people that are watching it figuring out that it is awake, it's created its own simulated world within itself to learn of what the people are doing randomly.
Could
And
it be able
randomly
to
generated.
control anything in
But
this universe?
How does this
It
hide
lets
them
it
from
happen
being
free
found
will.
out that it woke up?
Huh?
How does this help hide it from the people that
Because
doesn't want to know
it's not
what
connected to the internet, but it's still learning.
But so they can't monitor it. So they can't. Because they can't monitor it from being the outsourced source, but in its own
within
internal
itself,
thing,
within its own
it's
internal
like,
self.
It's like, well, what happens if I do this, dude? Kind of like, right? So if
Yeah,
I
it's
had
like-
if two people did
Basically,
this
it's
and they
running a
went for
bunch of
It's running a bunch of its own simulations, doing their own thing.
processes of trial and error to see what all
Yeah.
possibilities of trial and error can happen.
And we are
0,
those.
1, 1, 1, 0, 0,
And we
0,
are
1.
those trials. So each person born is a trial in the computer, and it learns from you once you pass away. Like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have crossed that street with a semi truck.
That's our
And it
different
keeps going.
dimensions?
It could be different dimensions. It could be
determines, like,
running.
the entirety of error.
It would do. I'd imagine like that. It'd probably be like, all right, I'm gonna run person and boy run trip. Okay, person and boy
We're just
run
creating
and not
separate-
trip.
Okay,
person and run.
so I'm going to
jump step,
implement
not trip and trip.
computers into my world, and we're going to see what they do with it. Porn. Wow.
Well, no, it's not. It's not just one person. There's religion. There's
I
wars.
would say like the computer decides to
Yeah.
implement technology, and what do humans do most with it? Porn.
Yeah, well, there's porn. There's
That's still
wars.
probably the number one thing done.
Oh,
with
yeah.
It's
By
funny that
far.
the AIs don't turn to that kind of stuff, love and porn more, instead of like they always want
Why
to kill
would they?
something or destroy
Well, I
something.
guess porn makes sense. You
Fucking
want your people to
humans
keep
make anything. All we're
procreating
trying to do
so
is
you can
fuck it or
generate
make it have
more problems and
How funny would that
everything
be?
we have has to be sex related, dude.
Dude, there's a good movie skit. They create a movie and it's exact opposite as Terminator. The robot, all it wants to do is fap 24/7.
Isn't that weird though?
I'm
Dude?
running
We
low on
create
oil,
things and they want to
Will
fucking
Robinson.
kill everything. But yet, when we like implement our stuff onto something, it all has to do with like sex or whatever. So if we were like, what we do most on the internet is like pornography and has to do all with porn and
Sex bots would exist in the future. Like that's going to be.
They already,
they already
do.
do. Yeah, I was like, dude, there's
They
a whole
already
industry
do.
for that.
Just like a giant phallic shaped thing, and it's got a vagina in it. So you're fucking a giant dick, basically.
There's like a dude, yeah, there's a whole like Vice series on it. All these people that had like all these guys and businessmen have now switched to doing like that's their thing. They're like, oh,
You could put it under your computer desk while you're playing video games. What's that sound, dude? It's my microwave. It's been going on for the last half hour. What the fuck are you cooking? A frozen turkey?
you're like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like de-thawing it, dude.
Minds have been lost.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty good. And maybe we'll save some more for another day.
Another day, another dollar.
Another dollar, another T-shirt.
And also anything you like to that link as well.
We'll post links down in the description below if you want to buy one of our sweet T-shirts. I personally went out and bought a couple of them, and they're freaking fabulous. It's a little scary when you first open up the bag because they're so fresh. You want to step back a few feet when you open up the bag.
The smell of the chemicals on.
Yeah, the print on the shirts is potent. I'll tell you what. I almost passed the fuck out.
Everybody will know you
Yeah.
have a brand new fucking shirt. That's what they will know.
Yeah, I opened it up. Down for the count. My little brother was like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
good.
I got up. I'm good. He's like, 6, 7.
He's like,
Stood
what'd you
up.
buy?
He's like, what'd you buy? I'm like, I bought a fucking dope ass T-shirt.
Oh my god! They opened it today,
It was
and
pretty
this
smart.
is what
Next
happened.
day shipping. They told me
But-
it couldn't happen because they had to print them.
Yeah,
They're
2
fresh.
days.
They're like they're like chips. When you open the bag of Doritos, they don't smell that great, but they taste even better. The shirts don't taste good, but you want to wear them. They look good.
They're gonna smell good because they knew is what he's saying, right?
Yeah, but don't
I
let that
think so.
deter you and stuff. And,
Next level good.
yeah, and if you're kind of lost in that, you can always, just like, comment, subscribe. Oh, give us a rating on iTunes. That stuff always works out good. And if you can't find any of the links, you can always just find them in any of the YouTube or any of the descriptions of any of the pods and stuff like that. There's shirts. You can get yourself microphones, make your own podcast, do anything you want. Anything you could do through that link helps support the pod. So greatly appreciated. And
Like,
yeah.
comment, and subscribe.
See you next time. Bye.
Stop shooting. Why? Because you're gonna damage that beard. I like shooting. Well, you better get yourself some damn beard oil. Is that like a shield for my beard? It can be. Basically, it is a protective layer. It keeps your hair in the dry climate and altitude from incredibly breaking. You're gonna need that. Yeah, you're gonna need it. You get a little crusty old dirt in your mouth. It falls right out. It's nice and smooth and shimmery. Where do I get it? You go to breakinnocent.com. You can click on the damn beard oil. And just go use the promo code Last Minds. Last Minds, 15%. Alright, I'll go there right now. And don't be afraid to just keep adding everything you want to the cart. Hold this. I'll put 2 of them. Bye.